Okay, hello, and today I'll be analyzing a game that was played a long time ago. It's between two masters, one very famous master named Capablanca. I'll be going over this game and be giving my thoughts and just trying to analyze it and just show what ideas each person has to the best of my abilities. So, starting off, white plays d4, and then black has a answer of knight f6. So this isn't that unstandard. It transposes after black plays d5 again. So it's just a normal opening, nothing too crazy there. So it'll transpose into a queen's gambit declined, which we will see. Or no, okay, so they don't play that. So I haven't seen this. But they don't play that, they just play like this. So this is not standard actually. Usually you don't, at least you don't play it, you don't end up playing this. I think this is like an Indian defense kind of. So this is not that standard. As you can see, white has a lot of opening control. I mean, yeah, like a lot of center control, sorry, out of the opening. Black has less, but it's not like black doesn't have anything. However, one thing is to note that two things actually. One is that black can later push into the opening, into the center, and try to gain more space that way. But the problem is that it's a lot harder for black to actually develop their pieces, right? So I guess the queen can come out here, but otherwise it's relatively difficult for black to develop their pieces, which is it's not that bad really. It's not anything losing, but it's still an advantage how white has. And we see that white can open all their white can develop their pieces in such ways that they all contribute to controlling the center, and they're all active with a decent amount of squares that they can control. So anyways, okay, nothing too crazy. So they're both sides are just developing the pieces that they can. I think I said both of these when I was drawing it out. So obviously it's a good place, right? And controlling the center. And then here, I think it's just to protect the pawn and just, to develop the bishop so then white can castle pretty soon. So this is pretty good. It just takes more control of the space. It obviously forces black to do something, either to move this knight, let's say here. They can go to a couple places, these places, which are not that ideal. Obviously, if it goes here, then it can get kicked. If it goes here, it's on the side, which is not good. If it goes back, then it's not. So it's kind of forcing black to do something. Black would probably take this, but that's what I would do at least, but not. So maybe you'll go something like this, and then once you take, you go back like that, which would be a more threatening way to attack the pawn. Okay, so that's what they do. So they trade, and then when the black knight goes here, now there's two attackers on this pawn, whereas there's only one defender. So white has to do something. White would probably either move the queen out like this and protect it, or they'll move the bishop here. I think moving the queen out is a little bit better because the bishop here, obviously you don't want the bishop to just like spend his whole life defending the pawn, so that's not good. I think white should develop the queen instead, which it's what they do. Okay. So again, black keeps putting on more pressure, which makes sense, right? White has the pawn in the center, and black needs to try to attack that pawn in the center to kick it out. Which now, after this, they have to do that. There's no other way to defend the pawn. I guess this is kind of temporary. After this, this knight moves somewhere. After it gets pushed, it'll get pushed pretty soon, I think. Or I would do that. So after that knight gets pushed, then this bishop can go do something more useful instead of just defending this pawn. Both the knights are pretty good. This knight can still go here. It's still controlling this square if necessary. So you could do that too. Or this knight can go here soon and try to like do something like that. Go into this square. Okay. So right now it doesn't. I said it would kick it out, but it doesn't because there's no real need to kick it out. Really, it's not doing anything. Plus, if you can't really kick it out anyways, but it probably won't allow you to. I mean, White probably didn't play that because it's not really a threat. This file is pretty open. It'll go back, but it won't. It won't really accomplish anything. So there's no point. There's not any like super good reason to do it right now. You can just wait, do more important things like develop your rooks, right? Want your rooks to also control the center. So it probably focuses on that. But it does do it. If White eventually does do it. So so Black does this to probably just solidify its defense, protect some of these weak squares. White's already starting to get like some sort of like a very threatening position in that a lot of its pieces are in the center, and now that pawn part of it too. Now whichever side Black does, like castles, there's going to be an attack on that side. Especially the king side, it's much easier to attack the king, right? All these pieces are kind of pointing towards the king more. No, they're more king oriented. But here it's a little bit harder, although the pawns are a little bit more messed up here too. So even it's not like these pawns aren't that messed up. So White's playing really well right now, obviously, that's a world champion. So bishop probably goes back. Looking at it, you can see that the bishop going back opens up this file, right? Which is more pressure on the Black king to do something. It also I'm not too sure if it does anything else. It might do this. White might try to reroute like that later in the future. So that it serves two purposes. I think the main one is just to open up the file. Now White might like double up or something later. Okay, so now it does that. So goes here. It's a good check. You have two options after this, right? It's a check. So Black can take with the bishop there, which puts either a pawn there or a rook there. Both are pretty good. I think the rook would probably be a little bit stronger, even though the pawn is kind of like putting it like the position in a chokehold. There's not that much space to move around. So and then if it goes here, then this knight's really powerful, right? Just super powerful there. So if White takes with the pawn, then you can start attacking. Yeah, so even though there's two defenders on this square, I think that it might be valuable to at least think about it. Try something like that. Try something like that later. But you can also that probably works as well. But I think this pawn, even though it's a target, it leads itself to a very annoying position, to say the least, for Black. Okay, so that's what they do. It does take it with the pawn. So again, this bishop moves it to here, not instead of there, like I said previously. That's incorrect. It goes back here. No, what? No, it goes here, right? Try to pressure this pawn a little bit more. Probably pretty soon. White will start doing that. White will start moving its knight. The queen will probably then reroute here, something like that. Maybe not. I don't know. So yeah, it does. The knight does go there. Okay, so this is a better move. It's more pressure that way. That was a better move. Okay. So here, let's see. that it's pretty much over. Why? Because there's no good way to defend this pawn for black, right? So let me go with this after this. So this is crushing. There's no good way to defend this pawn, right? So black has to do something. Black can either defend it or black can move it up, right? If they move it up, what? So if they move it up, which they did, then white takes, right? Then obviously either you can take it back and not lose the free bishop, or if you move, then white just gets a free bishop, right? So then after that, it's there. You don't have a choice. If you take it, then you get the free knight. So in the end, this white just wins pretty handily, and then white had really good accuracy. Go to the one mistake they had. So it was better apparently to play the knight instead, but that's not that major. Black, apparently that wasn't good. But either way, I think here they let black get too much of an advantage. Yeah, this is pretty hard move to find, but I think if you had like more time to find it, you can find this attack, which is actually pretty good. So yeah, in general, it's probably not a good opening to play for black. You have to know that line in order to play it well, I think. G6, yeah, I didn't like this move that much either. It doesn't do that much. Yeah, this probably would help black survive a little bit longer. This doesn't really do that much, and now, yeah, I would have probably as well. No, I'd probably go here. This is better. I mean, it's not better. Obviously, this is clearly better because the computer. But if you go here, if you instead go here, then you still get the position anyways, but you're not wasting that crucial move, I guess. You have more options. So that's what the computer line has. And apparently that was it's faster to just do this, but I like this move as well. It's pretty. It's really good. So after this, it's just yeah, as we saw, if the if the king takes, then you take, and then you can see that over here, white is above by 3 points, and it's just game over at that point. This pawn is also really good. Well, black's gonna have a hard time stopping this pawn from promoting as well. So I think that's all I have with this game. Clearly we saw that it's really important to take control of the center and play your opening solidly, but also have a strong plan. In this case, the plan was just for white to hold it up, take control of the center, develop all their pieces properly, and then find a way to crash through, which white found as this. See you all who are watching this video in the next one.